This is Kingsley Grant from Happier Marriage Secrets, where we are making marriages happier again. And today we're going to share the first of 5 videos on the 5 mistakes that are actually killing your marriage. So let's dive right in with video number 1. Mistake number 1, neglecting emotional connection. Neglecting emotional connection. You say, Kingsley, what's that? What is emotional connection? That if I'm doing that, I might not even be aware that I'm doing it. So what is that working definition that you're using when you say neglecting emotional connection? Well, a good question. So what I mean by that is that you're not prioritizing quality time and genuine, heartfelt communication with your spouse. It's not just talking about things, but going deeper, having that connection where your spouse, and I find this mostly with wives, right? They want to have a deeper connection, emotionally, feel emotionally connected to their husbands. So, but it doesn't mean they're the only ones. We as husbands also look for that, but we have a different way to approach it. But we want to feel felt cared for and special and loved. And so it's when the busyness of life, work, and responsibilities take precedence, right? It takes over and comes before nurturing that emotional bond that really what's hold marriages together. Because if you don't feel connected emotionally, that's really a hard sell on your marriage, because it's tells me that your marriage may not last, because it's the glue. It's that glue. It's that sense of knowing that your husband or your wife loves you, cares for you, supports you, have your back, believe in you. Those things are what would come under the category of the auspices of emotional connection. Okay. So, but what I do know is life can get incredibly busy, right? And it happens to the best of us, who have good intentions, but as I've heard many times, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So good intentions is not enough. But when work or kids or hobbies or many other things, sometimes it pushes our marriage aside. And, I'm guilty. I've been guilty of that myself. And I'm still working on that. I'm a work in progress, because sometimes my work gets in the way. Sometimes what I'm pursuing gets in the way. And as entrepreneurs, as leaders and business people and professionals like we are, it tends to happen in a very subtle manner. We didn't intend to do that, but one thing leads to another, and we're no longer connecting emotionally with our spouse. And so when that happens, we have allowed everything else to take priority and our marriages to take a secondary position. And that tends to happen when we get so busy, right? It's like being so busy that we don't nurture our relationship. Imagine having a garden that you don't nurture, you don't take care of, you don't put the right fertilizer in, and making certain that the weeds are not coming in, and the bugs are not eating your plants if you're planting some vegetation and so on. If you're not nurturing that, what's going to happen? Eventually the weeds will overrun your garden. Your plants will start to die. And so it is with our relationship, our marriage. And unfortunately, this is killing marriages, and maybe yours. Maybe you're experiencing the slow death because this emotional connection is not happening. And you might justify the reason why it's not happening, that you're busy, you're working on something to take care of the family. And you'll say, I'm doing this for my family. And so when you get a pushback from your spouse, your argument would be, I'm doing this for all of us, right? I'm trying to get this ahead for all of us, and it requires this. And you know what? We justify that. And I can see, I understand, I've been there. Trust me, so I know this very well firsthand. I remember at a very busy time of my life, in my career, I remember this very thing happening. And I, in my head, was justifying and just saying, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Hang in there, Kingsley. it's going to get better. But then, of course, one thing leads to another, and you keep on pushing and pushing and pushing. And thank God for God, but for God's grace and his mercy and my wife's love and commitment, maybe my marriage could be one of those that could have died just because I neglected emotionally to connect with my wife for a lot, different times in our relationships, right? So if we allow other things to take precedence, as justifiable as they are, as good in nature as they might be, that does not mean our marriage is not suffering emotionally. I mean, think about this. Even Jesus, as busy as he was, and I find that no one ever was busy in their career and their pursuit of life and doing what he came on earth to do than Jesus. But the Bible tells about how many times he would take time away from his busy schedule to connect with God, his Father, in solitude. He would do that because he wanted to make sure that that relationship with his Father was a priority. Now, if Jesus did that, imagine what we need to do when it comes to our own relationship. Of course, with God, number one, but number two, with our spouse. So neglecting the emotional connection with our spouse is one of the mistakes that I find is actually killing marriages, and maybe yours is falling prey to that. So what do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So please leave me a comment below. And if you would like to get the PDF on the 5 mistakes that are actually killing your marriage, where I give you some action steps to take, you can get it at happiermarriagesecrets.com/mistakes, happiermarriagesecrets.com/mistakes, all in lowercase. And the link will be down in the description below, so you can always click on that as well. If you would like to be notified of the other videos in this series, with the next one being on communication blunders, you don't want to miss that one. You want to hit that subscribe button right now. Hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, do that right now so you don't miss out on any of the videos that I post, especially the second one in this series. And if you're wondering why you should follow me, here's 2 quick reasons. One, I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a certified relationship coach, and have worked with hundreds of couples for almost 2 decades with many successes. And there are a few that I believe that have not made it for other reasons that, beyond me. And secondly, I've been married for 38 years as of this recording. So I think that is worth something. Wouldn't you say? I thought you would. Anyway, thanks for watching. And until next time, peace out and God bless.